Zion, the last human city, a system of control created by the architect and the oracle. The people of Zion believe that their home is a safe place, away from the power of the machines, but that might not be the case. Every control system needs a level of supervision. So what if I told you that there are hints that the oracle has spies within the city of Zion? Welcome to Matrix Explained.
Welcome to the desert of the real.
This must be reiterated. Zion is part of the architect's system of control. Many fans of the Matrix universe don't seem to comprehend or accept this fact, even though the program himself explains it as such to Neo.
After which you will be required to select from the Matrix 23 individuals, 16 female, 7 male, to rebuild Zion.
Zion was created to help keep the anomaly under control. If the city did not exist, the anomaly cannot establish a bond with his fellow man, thus cannot be manipulated to return to the source and restart the simulation, destroying the system. Zion also functions as a controlled dissidence. A false war between red pills and machines was created by the same machines to keep those humans who escaped the Matrix under control. Understanding this, the machines could not leave Zion unsupervised. They had to know exactly what was going on inside the city at all times, and some clues suggest this. The first is Neo's conversation with Counselor Hammond.
Feels like everyone is sleeping very peacefully.
Not everyone. I just haven't been able to sleep much.
Neo and the counselor discuss the paradoxes of relying on machines, how Zion needs machines as much as machines need humans in the Matrix. This foreshadows Neo's conversation with the Oracle at the park. The Oracle knows that Neo hasn't been getting enough sleep.
How do you feel?
I
know you're not sleeping. We'll get to that.
Plus, she goes on to talk about how machines and humans need each other.
I'm interested in one thing, Neo, the future. And believe me, I know the only way to get there is together.
Eerily, isn't it, that the words of the Oracle and Hammond are similar? It's almost like they were in tune with each other, saying the same thing to Neo. But there is a detail in this scene that never seems to raise a red flag for the audience, and that is that the Oracle knows that Neo is not sleeping. 3 things can explain how she knows this. 1 is that the Oracle can see Neo's code. She has seen this reaction in the previous anomalies, thus she can predict when it happens. 2 is that the Oracle herself implanted these nightmares in Neo to make him fear for Trinity's life and to choose to save her when the time came to make a decision. And 3 is that there are spies watching Neo, informing everything he is doing to the Oracle. This opens up the possibility that Hammond is a spy of the Oracle. This may sound absurd at first, however, let's analyze the clues. Hammond learns from Neo himself that he has trouble sleeping. Also, Hammond tries to enlighten Neo that machines are necessary.
I like to be reminded this city survives because of these machines. These machines are keeping us alive while other machines are coming to kill us. If we wanted, we could smash them to bits. Although if we did, we'd have to consider what would happen to our lights, our heat, our air.
It seemed like Hammond was paving the way for the Oracle to convince Neo that machines and humans need each other. Another clue comes from the Spoonboy. When Neo goes to meet the Oracle for the first time, he meets a boy who can bend spoons with his mind. The boy also reveals to Neo a very important fact.
Instead, only try to realize the truth.
What truth?
There is no spoon.
This philosophy about reality would later be used to give Neo the confidence to save Morpheus.
There is no spoon.
The Spoonboy played a fundamental part in helping Neo to accept his condition as the One. Not only that, the boy sends Neo a spoon in Zion to remind him that there is no spoon. Neo receives this spoon just before Bane, or rather Smith, tried to kill him. For the Oracle, there are no coincidences. Just as Neo had to meet the boy to adopt the idea that reality was false, the intervention of the spoon delivery in the real world was vital to prevent Bane from killing Neo. Almost as if the Oracle knew that Smith was in the real world, so she sent the Spoonboy to send Neo a present at that very moment, preventing his premature death. This could mean that the Spoonboy has awakened from the Matrix and is somewhere in Zion. But how can the Oracle have eyes and ears in Zion? How can she intervene in the events that take place there? Well, perhaps Smith wasn't the first program to infect a red pill. Smith replaced Bane's consciousness, overriding the mechanical implants in his brain. The Oracle may be capable of doing the same, just not to the extent of completely overriding a red pill's consciousness. Perhaps she installs some kind of program in the minds of the red pills to spy on them. What kind of program? A cookie. A cookie in computer terms is a small piece of data stored on the user's computer by the web browser while browsing a website. Cookies were designed to be a reliable mechanism for websites to remember stateful information, such as items added in the shopping cart in an online store, or to record the user's browsing activity, including clicking particular buttons, logging in, or recording which pages were visited in the past. They can also be used to remember pieces of information that the user previously entered in form fields, such as names, addresses, passwords, and payment card numbers. Tracking cookies, especially third-party tracking cookies, are commonly used as ways to compile long-term records of individuals' browsing histories. Now we understand how the Oracle seems to know everything. The cookie that she gave Neo is a software cookie that could, among many things, function as a tracking program, constantly feeding information to the Oracle about what happens in Zion. If the Oracle gave these cookies to other red pills, they would unknowingly function as spies for the machines, even when they are not connected directly to the Matrix. The mechanical implants of each red pill may still be connected to the source. Neo unwillingly managed to enter the Matrix without jacking in, because his mechanical implants allowed it. This proves that there is a wireless connection inside the red pills. They are connected to the Matrix at all times. Neo proved that cables are not required to connect to the simulation. Perhaps the need for a physical connection is also a lie. We've already theorized in past videos that there is perhaps a Wi-Fi antenna inside the humans of the Matrix, that they are only activated under certain conditions, and Neo was only able to activate his after the architect secretly gave him administrative privileges to restart the Matrix. Now what does all this mean? Well, that the Oracle infiltrated Zion using her cookies to turn red pills into unwilling spies. Or maybe she is inside some of the red pills, hiding and learning, walking amongst the people of Zion, just like Agent Smith. But do you agree? Is it possible that the machines have spies inside Zion? For Matrix Explained, please leave a like and subscribe. And thank you for visiting the Desert of the Real.